In this video, we are going to be investigating how mortgages work. We are going to determine the loan payment for a mortgage, develop the first few rows of an amortization schedule, and look at how small increases in the payment impact the life of the loan. In this scenario, we are going to be looking at Ben, who's decided to purchase a home that costs $180,000 and the down payment is $20,000. He's going to get a 30-year mortgage at 3.5% compounded monthly, and the first thing we need to do is determine what is the mortgage payment. So we're going to do this in two different ways. One, we're going to use the formula, and the second way we're going to use the Tvm solver. When we're using the formula here, the first thing we need to figure out is what is our present value. So our present value is the amount of the loan. So if the house costs $180,000 and he's putting a $20,000 down payment, the amount of the loan is going to be the $180,000 minus $20,000, so that's going to be $160,000. We also know that the interest rate is our annual interest rate divided by our number of times per year that we're compounding, so it's going to be 0.035 divided by 12, and our N is our number of times per year we make payments times the number of years. So it's 12 times 30, which is going to be 360. So if we plug that into this formula, we're going to get 160,000 times our 0.035 divided by 12 all over 1 minus 1 plus 0.035 divided by 12 to the negative 360. Now we need to be really careful when we enter this into the calculator because parentheses are really important here. So I would put parentheses around that numerator. I would also put parentheses around this denominator. If we go to put this in the calculator, we're going to have 160,000 times, open our parentheses, actually let's put the 0.035 divided by 12, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, 1 minus, open another set of parentheses, 1 plus 0.035 divided by 12, raised to the negative 360, and close the parentheses on our denominator. So let's just double check. It's really easy to enter the interest rate wrong, or you think you press a decimal point and you don't, or one of the characters doesn't really register. It looks good, and we get our payment here is $718 and say 47 cents if we round to the nearest cent. Now if we were going to do this using the Tvm solver, which is a little bit easier to handle the entry for, on the Tvm solver, to get to that, you're going to press the Apps button, choose Finance, Tvm solver, and what we need is our N is the same thing as it is up here, 360. Here for our I, instead of putting 0.035 divided by 12, what they want here is just 3.5. Our present value is going to be $160,000. Our payment, this is going to be our goal. Our future value, notice that we didn't have to think about future value when we did it with the formula, but on the Tvm solver we do. So our future value, this is the amount that we want to have as our balance at the end of the 30 years, and we want to owe nothing, so that would be 0. And payments per year and compounding per year, they are the same, and they are 12. So if we enter this information, we got 360, we have 3.5, present value is 160,000, payment, that's what we're looking for, let's see, 0, and then 12s. So then go back up to payment and we press alpha, enter, and we solve, and we see that we get the same exact value that we got with the formula. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. If you like the formula, use the formula. If you prefer the Tvm solver, you can use that. So in Part B, what we're going to do is we are going to build the first 3 months of the amortization schedule. So an amortization schedule is just a table that shows the detail for every single month of how that loan is paid off. So for instance, if we are making our payments of $718.47, that payment kind of gets split into 2 parts. We have one part that goes to pay off the interest on our loan, and the other part goes to pay off the principal on our loan. So this part is actually what pays down the loan, and this just pays off the interest, so it's like the fee for having a loan. So we're going to start with our balance. So our balance is $160,000, and then our payment each month is going to stay the same. So we're going to have $718.47 each month here. And what we're going to do is we're going to calculate our principal and interest and then find the balance at the end of each month. The first thing, notice that our annual interest rate was 3.5%, so this means that our monthly interest rate is 3.5% divided by 12. So the amount of interest that we're going to pay each month, we're going to take that 0.035 divided by 12, and we're going to multiply by our balance that month. So we're first starting out and multiplying it by the 160,000. So I'm going to take my 0.035, and we're going to use this a bunch of times, so I'm going to store this interest rate for a variable. So I'm going to store that in A, and I'm going to take 160,000 times my A. So my first amount of interest is $466.67. So this first month, this is the amount of interest that we pay. So the amount of principal, remember the total payment is the $718.47. So the amount of principal, all we have to do is we have to take our $718.47 and subtract our $466.67. So we end up with $251.80. So again, we took the 718.47 and we subtracted the 466.67. Now the balance, all we're going to do, this is the amount that we used to pay off the loan, so we have taken that $160,000 and we've paid off $251.80. So our balance, if we take the 160,000 and subtract off the 251.80 cents, we end up with $159,748.20. Okay, so and these are all dollar signs. Okay, so let's do the next month, and then I'm going to show you how to do this in a spreadsheet. So for the second month, we're going through the same process. We're going to start by finding our interest. We're going to take the 0.035 divided by 12, multiply that by 100. Oh, actually, we're not going to multiply it by 160,000. We're going to multiply it by our balance, and we've paid off a little bit of our loan, so we're going to multiply it by this balance, $159,748.20. So I'm going to take this amount that I have right here, and I'm going to multiply that by my interest rate, A. So this time we have $465.93. And so our principal the second month, we're going to take the $718.47 and 47 cents and subtract off the 465.93. I'm using these rounded values every time here. So we end up with $252.54. And so our second balance, we're going to take the $159,748.2 and subtract off our second amount of principal, which is $252.54. So our new balance is $159,495.66. So I took this balance and subtracted off the $252.54. Okay, so this type of calculation could get really old if you were doing it one by one. So let's look at how we could do this in a spreadsheet. Okay, so I have a Google Sheet here, and what I've done is I've made a column for the months. I've made a column for the payment, the principal, the interest, and the balance. And notice that the balance starts out at $160,000. So remember, we're going to have the payment the same. So I typed 1 in there, and now I'm just going to use copy and paste. So I copy it, and then I paste it into all of these cells here. Okay, so now the interest equals 0.035 divided by 12 times, and I'm going to click on this cell, and it's going to grab that cell and press enter. Okay, now the principal, remember we're going to take this payment and subtract off this interest. So the payment is cell B equals this cell minus this cell. Press enter. And then our balance, remember for our balance we're taking our previous month's balance and we subtract off our principal. So we're going to put equal sign, we're going to grab that minus this. Okay, so we get those same values. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this. So I'm going to go and take and copy that by doing Control C, and then we're just going to copy it all the way down. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice, first of all, that was way quicker than doing every single calculation by hand. But the other thing I want you to notice is that our balance is gradually decreasing here. Also, our principal amount is gradually increasing, and our interest amount is gradually decreasing. Let's go to this third question. How will small increases in the payment affect the life of the loan? So let's go back to the TVM solver. So remember, we're making payments of $718.47. So suppose we want to just, instead of paying that amount, we pay $800 a month. So we're increasing our payment by, about $82. So I'm going to go down and change this to negative $800. Now, when they're asking how will this impact the life of the loan, what we're basically saying, how many payments will pay this off? So how many payments are required? All I need to do is I'm solving for n. So remember, this is the n for 30 years. So if I'm solving for n, I go up to my n, I press alpha, enter. So now it says 301 payments, because we can't really do half payments. Remember, our original loan was for 30 years, so if we take 301 divided by 12, that means that we only have basically a little more than 25 years for our payments. So, increasing by about $82 per month removes 5 years from our loan. So that's all for this video. I hope you found it helpful.